Well, we finally made it to our hunting spot. And Joe's polishing off a kiwi, it looks like. It pretty good there, man?
What?
Oh yeah, some good pre-hiking food. So we got like a 2 or 3 mile hike that direction to get to the area I want to hunt. It looks really good. It's got a bunch of basins running down from mountainsides, and it looks pretty green. So we'll see. There's a river at the bottom, so it's going to be a really good water source for the deer, because life in this area revolves around water. If there's no water, there's nothing, and we won't be able to go in too far at a time because we're limited by water as well. We can only stay out there for however long we can have water, so it's probably going to be a day or two at a time coming back to the truck and getting more water. So we're getting loaded up now.
Very barren out here.
It is very barren. Very barren. Yep. Very dry and barren, but we're going to do what we can. We're getting everything loaded up and together right now, and then we're going to hit the trail and see what we can turn up. Who knows? Maybe we'll find some big bucks. Well, we have finally made it to our campsite after a super long hike in 100-degree weather, which was just absolutely fantastic. But we have a really good view from here. So as we pushed in farther, we started seeing a lot of deer sign. So I'm pretty optimistic that we're gonna get on some deer. Right now we're just kind of gathering ourselves because it was really rough getting in here, so we're kind of relaxing, getting everything set up for later. And we got about 4 hours till it gets dark, so we're gonna take another hour or so and then probably push up that way where we haven't been yet, and then glass down in there and see what we can come up with. So hopefully it's gonna go good. I really am feeling pretty optimistic. We've seen a lot of deer sign, and our tag's good for mule deer or coos deer, so I'll take either, whatever I can get. And old Tyler right here's actually got a bear tag too, so we're pretty much in the game for anything we see. So we'll see what happens. We're gonna get him, Joe?
Yep, me and my Dino and Algae.
That looks good, man. What you, man?
Yep.
Yeah.
Get big bear.
Big bear, yep. Get some big bears, some big mule deers, maybe a coos deer, who knows? We're gonna get something, that's for sure. So, yeah. Give it about an hour and we're gonna go get them. Well, we made it to our evening glassing spot. So we're overlooking this whole basin, going all the way down to down there. This is the river. The river's way down there, and we're up on top of this ridge, glassing down into these bottoms, trying to catch a deer getting up to feed and go get a drink this evening. Probably won't have time to move in on anything tonight, but hoping to maybe put a game plan together for tomorrow. If we can catch some deer moving up tonight, we'll kind of have a good idea of what to do tomorrow morning. So, a windmill?
Yeah.
Well, we can't shoot a windmill, but that's still kind of cool. But yeah, so hopefully we see some deer. Alright, so we kept glassing that same ridge, and we've turned up 2 more bucks, both really nice bucks. So there's one right there. I know it's not the clearest footage because it's so far, but it's a nice buck. This one you're talking about, Joe, facing to the left, is a monster.
He's a freaking monster.
He's a monster. That's a 170, 180 inch deer. That is an absolute jammer right there. And then over here to the right, there should be 2 more deer. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find them on here now. But we did have 3 bucks glassed up. Yeah, I can't find them other 2.
It's so freaking far out, I can't really
But
see
that
it.
one, that deer right there that you guys are looking at is a monster. But here, I'll show you how far he is from us and why we can't make a play on him. that's how far that deer is. So, and you can see how low the sun is now, so we don't have a chance to make a play on him, but we do know now where to look, because we know there's 3 shooter bucks on this ridge, and one of them is an absolute monster. I mean, you should be able to make that rack out pretty good. I can see it actually fairly well. And then I don't know where the other 2 went. They were right down here, but I don't see them. But yeah, so overall we do know that we know an area to go to now, which is what we were going for. So that is a positive. We're going to watch these deer till dark and then get up tomorrow morning and make a play, hopefully see what we can do. Well, it's our second morning now. Well, I guess technically our first morning, since we weren't hunting the first morning we got here, but we kind of went back to the same area as yesterday evening, just a little closer to where we were seeing them deer. So we've been glassing for 30 minutes now, haven't turned anything up yet, but there's a lot of cattle that graze on this public land here, and there's a ton of them cattle over there towards where the deer were. So it's kind of given us, you know, an idea that that probably is where a lot of the deer are going to be, because the cattle are going to have the same needs as the deer. I mean, as funny as it sounds, I mean, the cattle have to have a food source and they have to have a water source. So if they're there, the deer are probably going to be there too. So we're just trying to figure out how to get there, because camp is 2 miles back behind us, and then the truck is another 4 miles behind that. So, and then where we want to go is another 2 miles that way. So it's just not logical for us to be able to go that far and get something in and out, like, and not run out of water, because that's our limiting resource. That's the limiting resource for everything that lives in this area is water. And we just wouldn't be able to carry enough water to get over there and get back without, like, dehydrating ourselves bad. So we're kind of trying to put a plan together and decide what we're going to do, if there's somewhere else we can access that area from. But we're going to glass till the sun gets up a little higher, and then see what we can do. But we're going to figure something out. We know that there's deer over there. I mean, we've seen a few nice bucks last night, so we know there's deer over there. Now we just got to figure out how to get there and get them. So hopefully we turn some more stuff up, but we're going to figure it out. One way or another, we are going to figure out how to get them deer. All right, well, so we just got done packing up our stuff and coming back to the truck, because we were glassing them deer that we had seen yesterday evening, and then we looked for them this morning and never ended up seeing them. But the area where they were in really looks good, so we really want to try to get to that area. And it just wasn't feasible from where we were camped to get there and be able to get a deer out without dehydrating ourselves, because of how far it was. We wouldn't have been able to carry enough water. There's just no way. So it looks like there could potentially be an access path behind where we seen them. So we're gonna go back down to town, get some more water, maybe eat a good meal instead of eating the shit garbage that we've been eating, right? I mean, you guys have been eating the shit garbage, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's been horrible.
Yeah, no one likes to eat shit garbage. So we're gonna go get a good meal and then try to see if we can access that road. We looked at it with our spotting scopes and it looks a little iffy. I mean, maybe we can make it, maybe we can't. I mean, if we can't, I do have a couple other backup plans. I mean, I really hate to give up on that area, because we know that there's a few really good bucks in there, but...
And a bear.
And a bear. I mean, we've seen a bear too, so I don't know. Well, we're gonna see what happens. Right now, we're just gonna worry about getting there and checking it out. Hopefully it works out. If not, we'll come up with plan B. So we'll see what happens. All right, well, we made it to the area where we think, around where them bucks were. So we got about 2 hours before dark. So we got the glass up. Tyler's right over there, up there. I'm right here. I got my scope right here. And Joe is right up there behind me. So I'll show you what we're glassing. It looks really, really promising. So, camera around. We got this whole basin. And then up there, it looks really green. There's a watering hole back over to my left too, so but these whole basin, all these basins, there's fingers running down the mountain right here, so I think we got a pretty good shot of getting on something. So we're gonna keep the glass up and hopefully we can find a buck. We're hiking back and I just picked up a nice buck. Real nice buck. Oh boy, how did we miss him? Well, it's our third morning out here now. I'm out here alone this morning because Joe and Tyler, they're pretty sore. We've been hiking a lot and they want to take the morning off, so I'm out here alone. But I think I just found the holy grail for desert hunting in Arizona. So if you look back over here, right down there, there's an unmarked water source about 3 miles from where we parked the truck, and this water source isn't showing up on any like hunting apps, anything, not Hunt Stand, not OnX, nothing. So it's an unmarked water source, and since I found this morning, I've already seen 2 does with a fawn. One of them had a fawn with it, and then I seen a spike buck, and I just a second ago, I had a group of probably 8 or 9 javelinas run right down past this pond and then back up the ridge. So the sun's just now coming up behind me. So I'm going to glass for a little bit longer because I think animals might stay on their feet a little longer. But then, here in about, 30 minutes, I'm going to start focusing on glassing underneath of trees in shade. Because from what we've learned, like once it starts getting warm in the day, the animals will start bedding underneath the trees in the shade. Like last night, we had that really nice buck. We were glassing that whole ridge, but we thought all the deer would already be up because it was already like 30 minutes before dark. But turns out he was underneath the tree and we just didn't look hard enough. He was only 200 yards when we were glassing, but we never seen him. So I'm going to keep hunting this morning. If I do end up getting into something, I don't know how I'm going to film it by myself, but I'm going to figure it out. So this area is starting to really look good. I think we're going to get something out of here. So I'm going to get back on the glass and run a couple more ridges and see what I can find. Alright, so I'm going to show you exactly why it is so hard to spot these deer when they're bedded in the middle of the day. So I've just been moving around, glassing into these pine trees looking for a bedded deer, and I walked down here to try to find some shade for myself, and I walked right into this right here. Right there, you can see that a deer was bedded right there. So way tucked up under this tree, there's a huge pine tree right here, and that deer was tucked all the way up in there. So that's why it's so difficult to find these things in the middle of the day, because they tuck up under these trees so well. If you don't absolutely pick apart everything in your spotting scope, you're never going to see them. So just some food for thought. And so if anyone ever does come out here and try this, just know you really, during the middle of the day especially, you really got to look hard because they tuck up under these trees so well. So I'm going to keep at it and hope I can turn something up. I know there's deer here, and I know there's some good bucks in here, so I'm gonna find one. I'm not going to stop till I do, so keep pushing, keep grinding, and I'm going to get a buck. It's going to happen. It's about 3 o'clock, and me and Joe are heading back up in here. See if we can get on something. We got about 4.5 hours of daylight, so we're going to see if we can get on something. It does look like there's a pretty gnarly storm moving in right above us.
I hope we get poured on.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind getting rained on, honestly, because this is pretty hot. But we're hiking right up into this storm. Gonna see if we can get on some deer. See what happens. We're hoping that the deer get up early tonight because it's cooling down so much from this storm. And it's gonna give us a really good opportunity because I'm hoping the deer are gonna get up earlier than they have been. Like, they've been getting up 30 minutes before dark when we don't even have a chance to get on them. But with this storm rolling in and it cooling off so much, I think the deer are gonna be on their feet early. So we're gonna hunt through this storm, and God willing, we are gonna kill some deer. So, ooh, hear that thunder? It's gnarly. All right, well, if you haven't hunted through a thunderstorm, you never hunted, right? Let's get them. Well, I've just been walking up and down these ridges, now looking for deer, and I just spotted another deer, another doe with another fawn. It's weird, these fawns are still really little, which I thought was kind of strange, but no bucks yet today other than a spike, and it's still too early in the hunt to shoot a spike, so I let him go, and then I'm just going to keep on moving around now and glassing into the shade. So you can see how all these trees are starting to cast some shade. That's where the deer are going to lay. So in the middle of the day out here, that's what you want to do. You want to start glassing in the shade and look for the deer in the shade. So I'm going to go start cutting down through all these cuts and glassing into the shady spots, and hopefully I can pick up a buck. We'll see. Alright, well, that's going to be the end of our evening here. Didn't see much. Seen one doe and a giant rattlesnake. So, oh well, we're going to get back up here tomorrow. Try it again. We got tomorrow, the whole day, and then one more morning. So, we're going to stay positive and try to get on some deer. We have to bomb down this hill right here in front of us right now, and then wrap around the ridge to get back to our camp. So we're gonna try to get back here and get some food, get in bed, because we gotta get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then get back up here, try to get some deer. Hiking in on our 4th morning now. We got coyotes hammering. Joe's terrified. Joe's scared to walk towards the coyotes.
Walking right towards them.
You gonna be okay, man?
I don't know.
Alright, well, Joe, you gotta go right towards that coyote.
Right.
And I gotta go this way. So, let's get it done. So, it's our fourth morning now, and well, no, it's our 3rd morning. I lied. It's our 4th day, 3rd morning. Me and Joe decided that today we're gonna try to divide and conquer, because we're starting to realize our window, like our time during the day to actually find a buck, is so small, because the deer are only on their feet for, from what we've seen, about an hour to an hour and a half, 2 hours tops in the morning, and then they lay down, and we haven't seen the deer on their feet again until 30 minutes before dark. So our best chance is to try to find something in the morning and put it to bed and then stalk in on it. So we figured we might as well split up, and we have 2-way radios so we can talk to each other, and then if one of us sees something and puts it to bed, we can go meet each other, whoever it is, and then go after it together. So we'll see. I got a really good looking valley down below me. We've seen that these deer come up into these basins to bed. So we're gonna try to pick these apart this morning, and then hopefully we find something. If not, then we're just going to glass into the shade again today. We haven't been very successful doing it, but we know that's where the deer are bedding. It's just very hard to see them, so God willing, we'll spot something this morning. We won't have to do that, but we'll see. Well, I'm going to get on my glass and start picking apart this ridge. Well, that's another morning in the books. Another slow morning. All we seen was one doe. I mean, I'm not sure what we're doing wrong. It's the deer out here. They're on their feet so little during daylight hours that if you don't find them right away, you're just not going to find them unless you can pick them out during the middle of the day. So we're going to head back to the truck and regroup. I think we're going to go try a different area. We know there's deer in this area, and we know there's some nice bucks. We've seen them. Just by the time we've seen them, it's always been too late in the evening, or they've been too far off for us to get to. So we're just going to try something different. We only got one evening and one morning left, so we're going to try something different. We're not going to give up. We're going to keep trying, because if you give up, you can't kill something, you know. This is our first time in the desert, and we've learned a lot. So it hasn't been a horrible trip. It's just that last distance you have to close, we haven't been able to do it. So we might get one. We're still going to try. We got a little bit of time left. We're going to try something new, get into a new area, and maybe we'll do better. So that's our plan anyways. Try something different and hopefully find some bucks.
Looks like we got a doe on camera in the scope. Yeah, I don't blame her. I'd be in the shade too. It's miserable up here. Walking to another tree. Oh, there's definitely deer here. Now we just need to find a buck. Absolutely breathtaking.
Yeah. Well, that brings an end to our last evening. We have tomorrow morning still. It was a pretty good evening, really. We've seen a bunch of deer. More deer than we've seen up until this point. Seen a few bucks, a couple decent bucks. They were just moving so fast. There was plenty of light left. They were just moving so fast we didn't have time to get out in front of them. They would have been gone. So, seen a couple does. 4 or 5 does probably.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's looking like a really good spot. I wish we would have found this spot sooner. We've seen more deer tonight in one day than we've seen up until this point. So tomorrow morning's our last morning. We're gonna get up here, and if everything works out, maybe we'll let an arrow fly and put a buck on the ground. We'll see.
Really
You gonna get? What do you think, Joe? We gonna get one?
Really like to put my damn release on.
Yeah, I would like to put my release on and draw my bow back. It's been a while, so tomorrow morning, let's pray to God and see what happens. So we're gonna get down to the truck. We got a storm rolling in the back here behind us. The rain flies on our tents, so we're gonna boogie down and get that done, so we're not soaking wet and all our gear isn't wet. So we're gonna get down there, eat some dinner, and then back up here tomorrow.
Well, we got our first deer of the morning. It's just a little spike, but considering it's the last morning, I would consider shooting it. We're just gonna kind of watch him. He's working down towards us right now. He's walking right down this like dirt road. To the right, you mean? His left, yeah. It's not a spike, it's a 4-point. If he gets down into this brushy open stuff, might be able to do something with him. And there he is. Yeah. Well, that's gonna be the end of the trip. I just bombed down the mountain after that last deer we seen. I got close to the area where I last seen it, but couldn't find anything. I got down in there and there was deer tracks everywhere. I kind of wish that we would have just kind of hunted down in there a little bit more and kind of almost just waited to see if deer came through, because there was a lot of sign down in there that I didn't see before. But you know, this was a really good learning experience. We learned a lot about the area, and every day we got closer. Every day we got closer to killing something. I'm very confident if we would have had a couple more days, we probably would have got something. But these tags are good all year, and there's a season here in December, so there's a pretty good chance we're going to be back out here in December. We've learned a lot, and the deer will be on their feet more in December, so I think come December we are going to get on some deer here. What do you think, Joe? It's been real. Yeah, hopefully it's not as hot in December, but you know, it's been a fun hunt. It's been good. So we're gonna get in the truck, load up. We got a 24-hour rip home, and then go from there. I'm heading to Kentucky next here in a couple weeks, so it's gonna be a lot different than this. So, yep, it's been a good hunt. Till next time, right, guys?
Sure.
Yep.